Hello, all. This is the Model Way podcast where we inspire, we motivate, and we teach both new and seasoned models industry standards. My name is Lenny Wheeler. I am your host. Today's a wonderful show. We have Miss Inna Dovgan showing up today via Ukraine, living in Boston, Massachusetts. She's worked her way up through the industry, coming from Miami, going to LA, back to Miami, and back over to Massachusetts. I'm excited about having her. Our show's going to start right now.
I know it's been too long to just pick up the phone, but I can't help but feeling so lonely. Yeah. On a Friday night. Yeah. So and so things move on just like they did before. But sometimes I still miss the touch of your hands. Oh, 'cause I can't get you out of my head.
Hey guys, we're right back to our today's show. We have Miss Inna Dovgan. I'm going to bring her right in here. She comes from Ukraine, living in Boston, Massachusetts. She's been in Miami. She's been in LA, and I'm super excited about having her. And I want to welcome Miss Inna Dovgan.
Hello, Lenny. I'm so glad to see you, and I'm ready to open the secrets of model life right here and to tell everyone my story, maybe even to prevent young models how not to do mistakes in model career and how to achieve most of what they want.
Well, you've been all over the place, and coming from Ukraine and just getting all the way over to Miami has just been a fabulous journey for you. Kind of go through that a little bit. I know growing up in Ukraine, being a model. What age? Tell us what age you started at.
15.
15. And what was that like? Did you like kind of saw a poster? Did you see some other models that you were like, man, I got to do this thing and kind of get this thing going?
Well, I had a dream to be a model since I was like 8, 9 years old. I saw a TV
Ah,
show. I saw this beautiful women shooting for the magazines, and I was like thinking, I want that too. I really want to see myself on the screens. And when I was like 15 years old, I saw some commercials on the TV that they invite young girls, 14, 15 years old, to a new model agency in my city. And I decided to try. I went there and it was like a casting, and they told
wow.
me that I have a perfect height because I'm 5'9", and I was already like 5'9" when I was 15.
Oh
So yeah, I
gosh.
was the tallest girl in my class in school, and that's why I decided to try. And from that part, I was accepted to the first model agency in my city, and
Wow.
I wanted to try everything. So I started from beauty contests.
Wow. Beauty contest. So is that like you did like a pageant then, right?
Yes, right. So it was in our city, like first beauty pageants, and girls, they didn't know exactly what to do there, what talents to show to win. And I started from there. I didn't win.
You didn't
and
win, huh? That
yes,
shocks me, really.
I mean, the fact that I didn't win, it forced me to do more, to work more on my body, on my appearance, on the subjects, how I present myself. And I really wanted to work more to become famous, maybe to shoot for the
Hmm.
magazines. And with time, I was doing some photo shoots, and it was in my city. And I remember first time I was chosen for a big advertisement of a new photo
Wow.
studio, and my
Wow.
face was in the city center on a billboard, and I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh
Wow.
my god, I did that. So
Wow.
in future I will gain much more.
Dan, did your parents support you when you came up in the business? Were they like, man, I don't know about this? Or did they have doubts? Did you kind of get that support that you were needing from them?
They supported me. They supported me in everything I liked to do because I did a lot of different stuff in my life. I'm into study. I'm studying all the time, all my life, and they always support me because they see my happy face and they understand that I'm enough responsible for my actions. I was always behaving myself like an adult.
Hmm.
It's just part of me, I'm like too much responsible.
Well,
So that's why they just like told me, yeah, you can do it, just you have to think about study, to start my university life, because people of my parents age, they were thinking that model career, it's not a real career, it's like a hobby more. So I had to be concentrated on my university life, on my study, and modeling I could do just like a hobby.
oh wow. Well, I mean, you said that you went to this agency and you had to like work on yourself a little bit at 15, and I imagine being a teenager, it's different because you're going through all these hormone changes and you're getting. I don't know if you had acne or not, but I don't know what you needed to work on because you're already skinny. But did you have a little bit of inches to lose at that point where they were telling you?
At that time, I think in every agency they told girls to lose weight. I was already skinny. I was always a small size,
Right.
but they told me to lose like, as I remember, 8-10 kilograms.
Okay.
It was for Asian contract because in Asia they like really skinny girls.
Hmm.
And I lost 10 kilograms. I looked like a skeleton. I
Oh
really could
Lord.
count my bones.
Wow.
Even
Wow,
my
that's
friends.
crazy because like people in this industry, they don't understand. Like back then, they were really strict on that. Like they wanted you to have like skinny frame, like you were telling, you're showing your bones. That's kind of unhealthy at the time for today's because I think the times have changed a little bit. But with that said, being 15, I don't know what that did to you is with your personality or your what is it, your confidence. I don't know if that hurt you or helped you. Do you think it helps you or hurts you in any way?
No, it didn't hurt me. I actually liked my body shape like that because I really like when it's skinny on myself.
Hmm.
And just my friends, they told me, you look almost invisible. You start to disappear.
Oh my gosh, man, that's got to be
Go
crazy.
and eat something. We feel sorry for you, something like that.
Yeah,
So that's why, I mean, I was feeling a little bit that people don't want to accept me like that because it's too much. But for our model industry, it was just perfect because I could be on the model stage. I could took part in different fashion
hmm,
shows and photo shoots, and I felt myself confirmed that I'm in standards. That I'm not fat, that my body looks perfect on the pictures, and
yeah.
that I will be chosen on the castings.
I think that a lot of people don't understand, like when you're shooting, like you hear all these people like, well, she's too skinny, or she's just too skinny. Why do they want skinny? Well, a lot of times people don't understand like the sample seasons with the designers and stuff. They come out with a certain size, and especially if you're going to China or one of the Asian countries, they really like you really small and skinny because that's what they are. Like those people over there are skinny, so they have to sell that brand to the people that are actually able to buy the clothes. And what better way than have an Eastern European girl or gal go in there and showcase the garments and make them look really good. But I really like the point that you made because you said you looked really good in the pictures. I really coach on that as far as like people taking their Polaroids for one, but also their portfolio. You want to have the best look you can for your portfolio because if you're not in your best shape or your best look or your puts you in the best light, you won't take the best pictures because it's usually a waste of time because it's like, oh gosh. And so I encourage people when they're taking pictures all the time to make sure you have the best look going in. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sure. Because on my portfolio, I looked kind of like my first portfolio was not so successful, I can say,
Hmm.
because I didn't have experience in doing that. And in my agency, they just told me I have to do like pictures in with different like images, with different hairstyle
Hmm.
and outfits. and they didn't really look good. My best portfolio I completed after my first trip to Asia, because I had
Wow.
different campaigns, photo shoots, and they were like really professional work. So my first pictures, I think I even deleted from portfolio.
Really? Oh gosh. You don't have any of those pictures still? That's really cool because you say that, and it's like you go over there and do that. But like I've talked about this before on one of my previous shows about like your first ones, your first two or three aren't usually your best, and then like I remember when you saw those pictures for the first time, you're like, man, these are amazing. But it wasn't even your best work. But like you start shooting more and more, and they get better and better because you understand your look, your posture, your posing, your face angles, and all that stuff, and you understand the light when it's coming on you, on what your best features are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
It,
It
it,
comes with experience, because in the beginning, when you're just young girl and you're dreaming about all this fashion life, you think
mhm.
that you made this picture and it looks great, but it's not, and you understand it only with experience.
Yeah, that's so cool though. But so you were over there and you did all that, and I think we talked before, but I think you spent like a year over there in China, or was it less? 6 months, 3 months? What'd you do?
I went there a few times with different contracts. I was in
Hmm.
different cities working with different agencies. So it was like quite intense experience, because first time was very exciting, because when you go there, you understand it's a totally different world. I would say even a planet, because
Right.
people speak like, like alien language.
Yes.
Nobody speaks English, and you cannot explain anything. You just have to use your translator everywhere. And by that time, as I remember, it was no such phone with a translator right now, right, like now we have.
Crazy.
So I had to just open the vocabulary and learn it, like some phrases that I can use for taxi drivers,
Right.
like "xie xie" is
Shishi.
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I had a model that was with me that her mom spoke Chinese and Mandarin, and I learned a few words like "shishi," like for thank you, and just the basic stuff, right? But it's like crazy
Yeah.
because you got to go over there and you don't know nobody, right? Like nothing. Like the language, the food's different, and Chinese food over there is nothing like what it is here. Like it is totally different. They have bones in their food, and you're crunching on bones in the rice, and you're thinking it looks good, and it's like, God, what are you guys eating, right? Like so I that's got to be like a total shock to you. So did you like stay in like model housing when you were over there too?
Of course, I stayed in a model house, and with different girls, with different personalities, and we
Oh
always
God.
fight there. It was always not clean. It was like very dirty, and nobody wanted to clean after the others. Girls were never at home, because every day we had work to do, right? So in the morning we like have to wake up at 7 o'clock, and we have like 5 castings a day. And I
Wow.
have in the morning I have to check locations, where to go, how to get there, if it's like a bus or I have to take
Yeah.
a taxi, and then I go to all these castings. I come back home in the evening. Of course, I don't want to clean apartment after everyone. I just make food really quick and I go
Right.
to bed.
Right. Now, did you like? I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many years ago. This is quite a while. It was probably like 17, at least 17 years ago. But they didn't have like. Did y'all have like Google Maps, or did you have to like print out the paper and like say, hey, this is where we're going, and kind of plan your trip out, or did you just slip it into Google Maps and say, hey, I'm going to get over here? How did that work for you?
As I remember, we already had phones, not iPhones, just like phones with a screen. And there were,
Yes, I remember those.
yes, there were Wi-Fi. It was a time that Instagram just started to exist. because Yeah, because it's like I was already in China 2 times, and technology just invented
Hmm.
Instagram. I remember I created my first account and I started to post my pictures. So before that, I had a phone with a screen, but it was quite difficult to make some route. I think maybe I had to use my computer or something.
Oh wow. Wow, wow. But God, just the getting around on the hustle, man. And you know what? I think that's a really good market for younger people, like especially they like you real young, like you said, 15, 16 years old, and your measurements are like zero, like, and you're just like perfect and your skin's good, and that's what they like. And I think you can build a huge book if you go to some of the Asian markets. I get these guys reaching out to me all the time. I just don't have anybody that's that small to go to those agencies, but I want to send some people over there like really bad because it's just a great market and it's a great way to get accustomed to the industry and you can build your book like extremely fast. So you finished up these contracts over there and then you went home for a little bit, I'm sure, like we talked about before, but you ended up coming, and is that when you at that point you started getting ready to go to come over to the States and you ended up here in the United States?
I was traveling a little bit after that because I wanted to work in some other countries.
Wow.
And then, of course, I had an idea about going to the United States because I received many reviews from my friends that went there. They were telling me that, come here, come to America. It's huge possibilities here.
Yeah.
You can shoot for very famous magazines and you will find like a lot of stuff here. It's much
Mhm.
more interesting than in China. But actually in China was very good because it was always job. Like
Right.
every day I had a job and shooting, just minus that I had to give percent to my agency in
Agency.
Ukraine.
Right.
I gave percent to my agency in China, and minus flights, minus food, and so on. So you understand,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not a
Oh,
huge.
yeah. I know. I mean, it's that payback that you got to pay. People don't understand that, because when people always say, "Hey, Lenny, is it? Why should I have to pay to be with an agency?" And you don't necessarily pay it like here's the money. If you got it, yeah, do it because you can still pay for your flights up front. But they're what they call advancing you the funds, right? They'll give you pocket money, pocket change, whatever they call it, and then they'll advance your flight. So they're paying for all that, but it's not free. They're going to take it back out because it's a business, and so they're going to take that back and pay themselves back off of the earnings that you make minus their 20-30%, and then you get the remaining if you got anything left over, right? But usually you don't have all that until you book a lot of jobs, and then you can start making money. But usually first time travelers, forget about it. You're not making a dime because you're going to end up paying back everything for the photo shoots and the testing and everything else that you've got to do throughout that process. And it's just absolutely crazy. But you did all these contracts, and then when you ended up in the States, if I remember correctly, you went to LA or did you go to Miami first, if I remember correctly?
First, I went to Miami. Then I went to LA to try myself, to try my possibilities, and
Yeah.
I was not very happy about LA, so I went back to Miami.
So what happened? I will go back to Miami, but what happened in LA that you didn't like so much? Did you just have a bad experience?
Yes, I mean it's very difficult because apartments are very expensive.
Right.
You can afford just to like rent a room,
Hmm.
and the city is huge. You cannot have like public transportation there. You have to like rent a car or buy a car. That was also complicated for me. And when you go to castings in LA, it's like so many people there,
Oh,
like
that's
people
crazy.
from all the world, and it means that you have less chances to be chosen there. Because
Wow.
if I, like when I worked in China, like of course there was just like European models, they have privilege, and of course, Chinese people, they look at you like you're an alien, and they like you. They think that we are very beautiful, and they
Right.
take European models in exchange to Chinese models. Because I mean,
Yeah.
they they are like they look more expensive for them. So if you put a European model on your brand, people will buy it more and will pay more for it.
Just
And
because of the elegance.
yes, and in LA, it's like thousands of models from all over the world.
Isn't that crazy?
And yeah, and I understood that I'm not ready to do anything to get this opportunity. That's why I went back to Miami, because in Miami it was model apartment. There
Hmm.
was some friends for me, and I don't know why for me, but exactly in my case, it was easier. It was like more possibilities. I just started to feel that it was my city, my place, my
Yeah.
opportunity. I felt every day happy there. I felt a good energy. So in LA, I understood it was just not my place.
It's just too spread out too. It's just like all huge, and like you said, there's thousands of models there. Like they're everywhere. Like, and they're all from here, and then you get some from every other country sometimes, and it's just absolutely crazy. But I think like in Miami, it's a little bit more base, but there's a lot of European models there. But you're also competing against a lot of Latinas too, like Colombians and
Mhm.
Venezolanos,
Not
like I like to
like
say, and it's just crazy, you know. So it gives
privilege.
you all this stuff, right? And it's so cool to see that. But I that's exciting because. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna come back and talk to them. I'm gonna take a quick break. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We need to get the algorithms up. I need to spread the word out. Kind of get you guys need to see this and get it out to everybody that you know that is in kind of modeling or they want to be a model. Please like and subscribe to the channel today. We'll be right back right after this. Hey guys, welcome back again. We're here with Miss Inna Dovgan from Boston, Massachusetts, model extraordinaire, traveling all over the Asian markets. She's been to Miami, she's been to LA, and we're kind of talking about that process where she's about LA and also the difference between that and Miami. So, Miss Dovgan, we're so excited about having you here, and we were just talking about the difference between Miami and kind of LA. LA is kind of a little bit tougher of a market because there's just so many models, right? Like it's just overwhelming. Even for actors, it's just overwhelming. But I think Miami was pretty much your base home of modeling. When you arrived in Miami, where did you go? I think we talked before, and you said that you just walked to a casting and they signed you and you got a contract. Is that correct? Can you kind of tell us about that a little bit?
I was like visiting many castings, many agencies, and of course, it was not so easy because they had their own requirements. They told me that they don't work with models who just travel to China because they have different standards.
Yeah.
And like I have strong face, and for example, some model agencies, they told me that we have enough strong face models. We are looking for baby face, something like
Right.
that. Some of them told me that I'm too old already because I was like 27 years old. So it's like end of career.
That's what they say. I'm like, golly, I don't understand. I mean, yes, I get it, but at the same time, there's way more stuff out there for older, mature models, right? Like, especially when you get in your 30s, those brands are everywhere. And it's like, if you just find that right agency, you're going to get those kind of deals for yourself and working for some of these brands that need it because most people don't understand, like, people that are buying products are in their 40s and 50s and they want to look young like that. So 30s is kind of like the new 23, right? Like, so you got to kind of adapt to that and kind of gain that confidence to go the commercial route, like you said, with the round face and the baby face and all this stuff. So, but I mean, the strong face. Anyways, you have a strong face, and they didn't want that a lot in most places. That's correct.
They wanted to start a contract with like 12 years old girl and
Damn.
a lot of money on her because she will have a lot of much more job that I will have,
Right.
and they prefer to work like with girls that started when they were 12 in the
Wow.
United States with their agency, and just continue working with them, and having them have like great book, shooting for like covers and so on. And
Hmm.
for many agencies, my experience was not enough, and they told me you have
Wow.
to start working with some other agent, make more shootings in the United States, and after that you can try one more time and come back here. Maybe we
Oh,
change
wow.
our mind. So that's why I started to look for the agent, not the agency, but the agent. And
Hmm.
it was successful because after I found the agent, I received many offers to take part in fashion shows, like runway shows, in different shootings. And I sent my my info
Wow.
to Maxim Magazine, and they accepted, and they gave me an offer to be
Wow.
shoot in Maxim Magazine also.
That is huge, man. It's like I don't know like if people understand what Maxim is, but it's a men's luxury magazine. It's not nasty or nothing. It's just a cool magazine that just shows like they do like lingerie, swimwear, and just the feminine form, right? Like, and it looks amazing, and like that's a huge thing to be able to get on that. If I could hug you and say congratulations, I will, because that is huge, and I'm excited that you were able to do that. So, anyways, you did that, and then you got to shoot with probably a really good photographer, right?
There were quite good photographers in Miami, and but I'm more like mostly I like to take part in fashion shows,
Right,
because in China it was mostly shootings,
right,
photo shootings. It was just a few runway shows, and because I'm tall, I'm skinny, I would like to show myself on a runway, of
right,
course. Because for photo shoots, you don't need to be tall. You can be
right. You
just
can be short and
forms,
take good
right?
pictures. What do you?
Yeah,
So
and
what's your favorite part about Runway? What do you like the most about Runway?
I like everything about runway.
I hear there's like a people like guys and girls get like a high from it because it's like you're in front of people, right? Like you're in a all the buyers and stuff are down there looking at you, like, and you're walking, and I think I got to see you walk once when we met in Miami a long time ago, but I mean it was really cool. But I think that's probably the biggest thing that I hear from models is they like the high that it gives them, and it's just a rush, like when you do it and you're getting your makeup done and you're behind the scenes and you're putting on the garments and the clothes and stuff like that. And it's just a feeling that you just can't do imagine. But how many runway shows do you think you did over the years? Or I mean, I'm sure you've done hundreds, right?
I didn't count them, but it was like every Miami Swim Week show, Miami Fashion Week show, and like designer dresses, women suit collections. I
Wow.
really enjoyed it. And when I was on the stage, I was feeling that inside happiness, because I was like
Yeah.
coming into my dream, because I was dreaming of it from my childhood. So when I achieved my dream, it was like, wow, yeah, I made it, and I made it in the United States. It's not like
Wow.
somewhere, in unknown countries that
Yeah.
nobody will see you.
Right. What do you think your favorite like swimwear was? Like the favorite brand that you got to walk in Miami Swim Week? Do you have a
I actually
favorite?
remember.
You got so many and you can't remember.
I think it was Beach Bunny.
Beach Bunny. I've heard of them. They're good. What was it? Was it good? Was the show good? The show was probably spectacular.
It was, I mean, I think they do it every time when it's Miami Swim Week show,
Yeah.
and they mix different brands there with like
Hmm.
different models, like plus size models and skinny models, and yeah, I really like their collections.
Yeah, it's really cool because like I think Miami's got a lot of diversity to it. Lo, you don't have to have just everybody don't have to be a high fashion model. Like I watch footage of Miami Swim Week a lot, and I see, man, they're doing a little bit of everything. The curve girls, they got skinny girls, they've got 5'7" girls, 5'6" girls, and it's just everything. Like any kind of swimwear you can think of, lingerie, a whole 9 yards is coming through Miami Swim Week, and it's just really cool. And we got that thing coming up in a few. Well, they just had it in June, but it's coming back around here pretty soon in the next 8 months. But I think people need to start getting, if they're going to go, need to start getting prepared for that and get their body in shape, because it comes up quick, and then when you start sending in the stuff, it's got to be in like 5 to 6 weeks before the whole show starts out. So that's really cool. So you stayed in Miami a little bit. I think when did this Tyson Beckford thing happen for you? Because that is really, really cool. Because tell us about the incident when you met up with Mr. Tyson Beckford. If you guys don't know who Tyson Beckford is, he was one of the he's been male model of the year for a few years back. And I don't know if he is still now, but I haven't looked at it. But he was at that time, he was like primo for male models, and you got to work with him a little bit, right?
Well, actually, he was the most high-paid male model in the world, as I remember, by
Yes,
that
that's
time,
correct.
as he was shot in this video clip of Tony Braxton, I think, or Whitney.
Yes. I think it was Tony Braxton. I can't remember. I'll look it up and kind of post it, but I can't remember. But it's one of those artists that he got to shoot with.
Yeah,
What was that like?
He was very famous singer, and it was like a romantic video clip. And he was also shoot for the most world famous brands, male brands like perfumes, so on. And our meeting was like an accident, because it was like an evening, and it was an event. I was visiting many events in Miami, because it's like almost every day you can be invited, and if you know people, they always invite you there. You can go and meet some people there, and it was just like the beginning of this event. Not so many people, and I saw him standing on the balcony alone.
Oh wow!
And I was like, "Is it Tyson Beckford?" I was
Just
like, "Oh my
chilling.
god." Yes, I have to go to him and say hi, because like I will not forgive myself if I will not do it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I went to him
I
and
would
I
have been
said,
out there like, ah,
no, no,
like
of course
damn.
not. No, it was like that feeling I have inside of me, but of course I didn't show it. I went very intelligent, and I told him like, "Hello, are you alone here? Like not so many people are around, and so on. So how do you like this event? Do you know designer from here, and
Right.
so on?" Started some social talking, and he's like, "Ah, yes, hello," and we started to talk, like some, I don't know, old friends. And while we were talking, I was like inside, like, "Oh my God!"
Just screaming like a little girl, huh?
Yes, right. So we were talking, and then we even exchanged the numbers. And
Nice.
yes. And even I made a picture with him.
Good.
I posted on my Instagram. I tagged him, and he even wrote a comment under that picture.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Like, "It was nice to see you," or a heart, something like that. And then I just left, and I saw that a lot of girls went to him after me and said, "Oh my God, Tyson Beckford!" And then he's disappeared somewhere.
He just disappeared into the night, just gone. Like what? Like Tyson.
Right.
You're like damn, he's gone. But that's cool though, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny when you run into people like that. Like every time I go to the airport, I think I was going to like New York one time, and I ran into Denzel Washington in the airport and got to shake his hand. And I don't know if you know who Lou Diamond Phillips is, but he's very famous from the 80s and early 90s in his movies. And I met him in the Dallas airport. I'm like, I didn't even recognize him. I'm sitting there using the restroom, and we're both in there. And I look over, and I was like, "Is that Lou Diamond Phillips?" And I said, "Mr. Phillips, how are you?" And he goes, "Lou, how are you?" I said, "Lou, how are you doing?" He goes, "Man, I'm doing pretty good." I said, "Oh, damn, that is him." I said, "Man, I hope you're having a good day today." And I didn't want to like invade his space or nothing, but it was kind of cool, like when you get celebrity, stricken with people. But I kind of just keep my nerves down and stuff, because he was like one of my favorite actors back then. But it was cool, and he just left. We washed our hands, and just he went his way and I went my way, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, that's so cool that you got a chance to meet him and everything. So yeah, so that was in Miami though, wasn't it?
Yes, right.
Okay,
And I
good.
saw him after that few times too on different events.
Oh wow! Did you? So like, you know what? Miami's really a cool city. It's just like you see, like everything kind of revolves around, like with this. I don't know about this like OnlyFans and all that stuff. There's a lot of OnlyFans girls in Miami, but there's a lot of high rollers in Miami, man. Guys are making millions in Miami. I don't know what the hell they doing out there, but man, they making some money out there. And it's really cool to see these guys and gals make all this money and have all this stuff portrayed for them for themselves. But that's really cool. But yeah, the modeling industry works really nice in Miami, and if you can do it. So now you're in Boston. Are you doing anything out there at the moment as far as modeling?
After during my modeling career, I was having a hobby. Like my favorite hobby was astrology and
Nice.
reading people's palms and numerology. I was really excited about getting to know people through their birth date. And when I got married, it happened recently, and that was the reason why I moved to Boston. I decided, okay, maybe it's time to
Mm,
quit my model career and I have to choose something more serious. And I didn't want to do something. According to my degree, because my degree is actually in business, but it's in hospitality business, and
right.
also I had another degree from Ukraine in pedagogics, like a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I really have like a passion for astrology. And I decided to make it like my new profession,
Mm-hmm.
make my hobby my business, because I have these skills how to create a business. So why can't I use it right in my life?
Right.
So I created my own company where I work as an astrologer, and I'm doing people's charts, I'm doing predictions, and I'm also doing like political predictions right now
Nice.
for different YouTube channels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit famous in Ukraine in this area. I'm like
Nice.
often like I'm an often guest in different shows and interviews. So I think
That's
this is like
cool,
a
man.
of my gift
Have you ever
that
thought
I
about doing a podcast? Have you ever thought about opening a podcast and doing something like this? And like, you should do live readings for people like online.
you
That would be
know
really cool.
yeah, my husband is always telling me like create your own podcast, it's very
Yeah.
famous here, you have so many things to tell people, like
Mm-hmm.
tell people about your predictions, what would happen to the world in the next 5 years, you
Yeah.
have to open this. I'm
Yeah.
still thinking how to better make it, because I'm already having a lot of work, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing my Instagram pages, like an English speaking page, a Ukrainian page,
Yeah.
YouTube channel, and
Mm-hmm.
so much stuff, and personal consultations. I'm just like thinking where to find time to create even a podcast.
Yeah. And you can do it
Organize.
like in the evenings. Like sometimes you can just do it and just record a session and like do one or two a night and then just have them ready to post out because like you're already doing it. Like I see you on Instagram, like, God, this girl should just do a podcast with this and just talk through what she talks through. Like, I mean, I'm listening to your ones in Ukraine like you do, and I've heard them. I've listened to, I don't understand what you're saying, but I'm like, damn, people are like interacting with you. Like, you should just do this, like how we're doing this live with people. And I think you would do really good at it. I think that's something that you can really pursue. And I think your husband's right. You should, so that's really cool. But that's awesome, girl. So you should really, I mean, I don't think you need to quit modeling. I think you need to model because I think you're good. You took like a selfie the other day and I was like, damn, girl, you should still model. I was like, damn, you had this dress on and the heels and you're very good at coordinating your colors and you got the matching belt with the shoes, the heels and the dress and it looks so elegant, right? Like, so you should keep modeling, just got to find that right fit for you in the right agency. So I think that's
It's
really
very
good.
difficult to do when I'm in Boston, and to keep modeling, I have to go to New York, and it's
Hmm.
like 5 hours to drive.
Yeah.
Not very comfortable.
No, that's okay though too. But it's going to be really good. So what is it like? So what do you think it's like for people when they pass like 26 or 27? I mean, what would you say to those people that say, hey, you can still keep doing it? Because I think they can. I mean, what do you think?
I think you can keep doing it at any age. It
Yeah,
just depends
good,
on your desire, of course,
good.
because you can show something for people like 35 plus or for people 45 plus, and when you're like that age, you just take care of yourself and you can work. Just now is the time of Instagram live, and many models, they just start to cooperate with brands directly, or they just hire an agent and they make contracts to advertise like cafes, restaurants.
Right.
They wear the brand stuff like clothing and showing in their Instagram stories, and they just get paid through the Instagram, and they don't even need an agency anymore, and they don't
Yeah.
need to go to New York or LA.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe this kind of
Yeah, it happens a
activity.
lot with the Instagram and everything. Like social media is a huge part of that, and a lot of people can catch gigs just on that alone. If you're marketing yourself well and tagging and doing all, then all of a sudden it's like, man, this girl's got gray hair. She's got some wrinkles. She'd be great for a beauty shoot for a makeup cosmetic line, right? Like, and it's like, wow. And then the next minute, they're sending you a check and they're getting you in front of, or just doing your own pictures yourself and just doing Instagram posts just to promote it. That's what they're doing. That's the thing now. Like everybody's doing that, and it's super cool to watch that. Now, if you want to shoot with the big brands and stuff like that, yeah, you're gonna most likely have to have an agent or something like that, an agency. Yeah, so they have those contacts with bookers and stuff like that that can send you to the castings. But other than that, a lot of people can still model right just off of Instagram and just use that as their
Right.
modeling page and promote and do all this stuff, and people will buy the product. I know somebody that there was a girl that we worked with when we were in Miami at that runway show. Giselle, what's her name? Giselle, I think. Is it Giselle Bariva? You know that name? You remember that girl, that blonde-headed girl that was there? There's a lot of blondes there, but she's killing it online. She's getting like 30,000 followers, and it's just really neat to watch that. I was like, I know her, and then she's just spreading that news out there. But it's just crazy though. But with the young girls, I always tell, do you have anything you want to say to young people? Say if you're 13, 14 years old and you're wanting to be in this business, what would you say to some of those girls?
Well, it's very like dangerous for a 13-year-old to go into this business
Mm-hmm.
because it's like so many temptations and
Mm-hmm.
offers that could harm these girls. I would
Right.
like to recommend start with like your mom, and it's
Right.
better if you go with your mom to castings.
Absolutely.
Yes, and you check every agent, every
Right.
agency, every casting. So it's all legal, it's official, and they really give you some job, some shootings, not something else. Like I would recommend to these girls, don't go anywhere alone.
Yourself.
Really.
Yeah.
This business is full of
Right.
surprises and not good surprises. A lot of cases of kidnapping people, especially
Yeah.
young. So don't trust anyone and visit every place just with your mom or with somebody like some adult person that you really trust. Because
Right.
especially if you would like to go to some another country, I would not recommend to do that. I mean, I went when I was already 18
Right.
or 19, and I
Right.
still think it was too young
Right, right.
to go
Yeah, and I
there.
think a lot now in today's marketplace. I mean, it's you always, for one, if you're underage, you need to have your parents. Like when you're going to visit an agency or anything, you need to have a parent with you, right? And I'm very big on that too. So we agreed on that. We definitely agree on that. I think a lot of people, like especially if you're wanting to start, it's always better to start young if you're wanting to get into the business. However, you need to start off with like going to an academy or a modeling school or something like that where you're in a group setting. It's safe, and you're able to get a nice good curriculum going ahead of you so you can build that up and have those people around you to give you that support. And then as you get older, then yes, you're going to be more mature to be able to handle certain situations. Good mother agencies, good modeling schools, things like that will teach you about safety and protecting yourself and not getting yourselves in harm way. And that's super big, and I really appreciate you for that and talking about that. So, but anyways, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get the algorithms up. Let's go ahead and share it and like the post. Let's get that up so we can get that word out for people. Guys, this has been a great show, and I really want to thank Miss Inna for coming to the show today. She's been a fantastic guest, and she's just a great person overall. And we're friends, and we message each other and just laugh and stuff over little silly stuff about podcasting and just little things like that. But she's just a great inspiration, and hope you guys are inspired. Please reach out, put likes, comments down in the section. This is The Model Way. Miss Inna, do you have any more final thoughts that you want to put in?
Well, I can tell you some funny stories.
Okay, go
If
ahead.
you like.
I want to hear. Okay, let's hear a funny story. we got time.
Yes, like a funny story and some like caution from me for models, of course. Girls, when you go to castings, think about what you will eat during the day, because there will be no restaurant next to you, no cafe probably,
Good.
and yes, if you will be hungry all day, you can just lose your conscious. Because with me, it happened few times that I
Oh
didn't eat
God.
food with me. Right, I just took like a bottle of water, and I didn't have time actually to prepare food. I was thinking, okay, maybe it will be some shop nearby or a supermarket,
Right.
and I buy some food. And no, there was like nothing nearby. And during one shooting, I was like feeling so bad. I was so hungry that I just lost my conscious. Everybody was so afraid. They were thinking to call the ambulance. What happened to this girl? Like how many days she didn't
Right.
eat? And I just didn't eat from the morning. It was like afternoon time, and I was already like, oh, that's it. My
Oh,
like
crazy. So, like,
my
no, that's important. You say that because I want. Well, that was a topic that I did want to talk about because we're not done yet. So, but what's really cool is that you did that, but people don't understand that you got to have stuff in your modeling bag. And I like talking about that a little bit because I think you can reiterate exactly what I said. What are some of the things that you need to have in your model bag? We know we need food, definitely. Okay, some snacks or something so you can have it there with you. What else do you recommend people taking in their modeling bags?
The most important is a bottle of water, then snacks, food, and so on. The mirror, because you have to check yourself.
Right.
Your own brush, because it's like hygienic stuff. And I
Hmm.
would recommend to have like a powder with you, your own, because when you have this makeup from makeup artists, they
Yeah.
just use makeup for all the girls, and it's also not very nice for your skin. So you could just take some of your own makeup and offer makeup artists like, okay, please just use my own powder because
Yeah.
it's my skin and I'm worried about it. And the same about hairbrush is better when you take your own.
Right.
And the most important, take the charger for your phone, because if you're somewhere
Yes.
far and you don't know the location and your phone is off, then you're
Right.
lost.
Right.
So the
Right.
charger you have to prepare from the evening, and
Well,
water and snacks.
that's so crazy because like you don't know. Like I like that what you just said that because if you take your own, materials like your cosmetics, so like you'll have your foundation and stuff like that. You've already got the skin line for it, and you understand what your skin blends into. But like I've seen. I mean, have you ever seen this? Like you go to a casting, the makeup artist is getting her own bag, but she don't have your tone, and then you get a line cut right here where they don't blend it, and it's just a big foundation cake of foundation. It looks like God. What did we do here? So that's important, guys.
Like
Like bring your
mask.
own makeup. Yeah, exactly. And then they don't put the right stuff. I've seen it. Like I'm a photographer, so I've been on set where we had that, and I always tell them, hey, do you bring your own foundation? That's important, and you don't want to have everybody else's germs on your skin from there. This girl's got acne on her face, and your healthy skin. She's gonna transfer that bacteria to your face, and we don't want that, right? So that's absolutely crazy there. But aside from that, like some of the clothing, like I tell people, like heels are super important because when you're doing a casting, they're gonna want to see you walk, and so like you're gonna have to put on a nice pair of heels. So like I'm always recommending like a good point stiletto that's flat. There's no platform on it, and same thing with like the open toe two strap. Those are all basic things that you can have in your bag to show that you can walk and be elegant and and look clean when you're walking. I mean, is there anything else that you would put in there besides makeup and food and water?
No, shoes is like obvious because you just wear flat shoes to get to the place to feel
Yeah.
comfortable, and you every day you have to take your high heels for auditions, for castings, and so on. So this is like something must have. And also, I like to take. I mean, I liked before. I like to take some maybe like some warm clothing with me or some
Right.
blanket.
Right.
Sometimes evening time it was quite cold to go back home, so or like something to cover yourself.
Mm-hmm. No,
Important.
that's good because you know you never know what you're sitting into because sometimes these castings can last a few hours, if you will. I remember going to New York and I went to shoot for one of my good friends. She's a really good designer in New York City, and we were getting ready to go do a shoot for a little editorial and do a lookbook for her line. And I remember being outside in Dumbo. I don't know if you've ever been to New York, but Dumbo out in Brooklyn is really cool because they had like the photographer. There was this casting call that was going on out there, and I remember seeing all these. And that line was like there was like 250 models on it, and they were all like beautiful, like banging, like tall, and it had some short ones. It was like a makeup campaign that they were getting ready to do, and I was like, okay. And one of the models, I said hi. She helped me pick up one of my bags that dropped it, and then I met her on the train after we got done doing our shoot. I said, "You're just now getting done?" This was like 4 hours later. I was like, "Yeah, we just finished." I said, "Well, who were y'all shooting for?" And I was like, "Who was it for?" It was for Maybelline. I was like, "Damn." And so it was just really cool to know that there's a lot of really big brands out there and people don't understand, like you have to be prepared when you're going into these castings because you may go to a casting and it may just be a shoot. Like you may sit in the chair and just, you know, whatever
Mhm.
y'all do as girls, just do your thing. And that was really neat to see. So like the castings can go in several different ways, guys. So you're hearing it from her. So that's really good. So that's awesome. I hope you have another funny story. I want to hear another one.
I just remember you said about Brooklyn, and I just remember about my photo shoot for a T-shirt brand that I
Yeah.
had in Brooklyn, and it was a time that we had to meet near some like subway stop in
Yeah.
Brooklyn, and I was never there before. I didn't know what is Brooklyn. I
Wow.
didn't know where I was going to. So
Yeah.
I went there. I go out. I mean, right in subway, I understood that it's like a not very nice place, like
No.
looking at people who were around me. And then I went out on my stop, and everywhere were like people that looked dangerous. I even saw some people who had like guns, and
Oh
I was
wow.
so afraid to stay there. While I mean, I arrived a little bit earlier because I'm like, I like. To go on time very much, and I always worry about not being late, so on.
Mhm.
So nobody was there, no shooting group. I was the first one, and I was so afraid, and I was just staying, like a pretty girl staying alone in
Yeah.
Brooklyn next to subway, and then like a car with the guys who were like passing through and like, hey girl.
Yeah, that's what they do.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God. I was like already staying and praying there so
Oh
nobody will
yeah.
like get me and put me to that car. Then some guys was like going next to me asking some questions. My heart was like beating like this because I was really afraid that somebody could just kidnap me right there and nobody
Right.
will know it. Nobody knows where am I and so on. But thanks God, thanks to my prayers. Nothing bad happened. And then like a photographer came first and then a shooting group, and in the beginning I was so afraid that I didn't even believe that it was a photographer. I was thinking that it was just a guy who wanted to talk to me. And he started to ask me like, are you a model? And I was like, maybe it's another guy who just asking questions.
Yeah.
I don't know who is he. And I'm like, no, who are you? And he's like, you look like that model that we have to shoot today.
Oh damn. It was a photographer.
Right.
Oh
And
my
then I was
gosh.
like, what's my name? And he's like, Inna, are you Inna? I'm like, Oh, thanks God. Yeah, it's me. And then we were waiting for a shooting group and everything was good.
Oh wow, that's crazy, man. I mean, it's funny you say that because like I was laughing. It was funny to me. I mean, it's not funny because you feel like you're in a dangerous position, right? But like that happens in New York a lot. So like people will go to New York and shoot outside, and you're in Brooklyn, and you're in Dumbo, and you're in Liberty City, all those places, and there's a lot of Dominicans out there, right? Like, and they're hanging out the window. Like I was shooting some for an agency, and I was shooting one of my girls in Wilhelmina, and this dude came up to us and he was like, "What are you doing here? We want to get our picture too." And I was like, "No, I can't do your picture. I'm shooting this test shoot right now." "Well, you're in my neighborhood. You need to pay before you come in here." I was like, "Wait a minute, bro." I said, "We're just walking through here, man. I'll leave if we need to leave, but we'll go down there." But she was like all like this, and this girl's like 5'11", right? Like real skinny, and we took some really cool pictures. But I had to like, man, I hope I don't have to start slugging down with this dude in the middle of the street, man. He might pull a gun or something, but it gets dangerous. So like I tell people, when you're in these big cities, you need to go in groups until you're familiar with the areas. Like if you're going with other models, like go down when you're downtown, like in Dumbo and Brooklyn and areas like that. Sometimes it's nice to go through the subways with a pair or two, when you're out traveling doing tests. But that's just the life of New York City and life of being a model, is just being aware of your surroundings, right? Like so, but that's good.
In Miami,
What's that?
That never happened to me in Miami. I don't know. Maybe because I know the locations very good and I felt safer in Miami. Yeah, in when I was in Manhattan in New York, it was fine. But it was just my first time in Brooklyn, and I was so scared.
It's different. It's a different animal. People don't understand it. Like you got to be more aware of what's going on around you. But thank God you're safe. Like in Miami, you just know your surroundings. You know where you're at. Like so, it's like this is where I'm at, and you know where not to go because there's some bad areas. Miami too. But you knew exactly how to navigate through that. But that's a good story though, guys. We talked about a little bit of everything. We talked about her journey from Ukraine, what she did in Ukraine, all the way down to modeling bags and scary situations in New York. So we got through all that, and I'm excited about that. Inna, this is the last time. Do you have anything else you want to talk about, or anything final thoughts for us today?
Yes, I would recommend every girl to go toward your dream. Don't stop. Believe in yourself always. And I can say that believe in astrology. Build your natal chart and use all the possibilities that stars gave you when you were born, because all these talents and our natal chart is working and we have to use it.
That's good. That's good. That's good advice, guys. It's been a pleasure with being with you today, Miss Inna. This is awesome. Guys, this is The Model Way. My name is Lenny Wheeler, and we're going to be right out of here. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Today, we need to get the algorithms up. Again, my name is Lenny Wheeler. This is The Model Way, where we inspire, we motivate, and we teach both new and seasoned models industry standards. Until next time, hasta la vista.
Yay!